Hey everyone, welcome back to The Moment Live. It's your old pal Meredith Lynch, and I'm joined by my, I don't want to call her old, but she recently told us that she got Botox. Rebecca Senenez, as always, is in the house, and we are joined. You guys, we are so excited about this.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
For no reason at all, I have decided that I'm an Arkansas Razorbacks fan, and so that makes this one particularly special for me. We're joined by our guest co-host, Ashlie Atkinson. She is an Arkansas-born actress who has amassed a pile of over 100 credits in film and television since 2004. You know her from Spike Lee's Black Klansman.
Underrated movie.
The psychopathic taxidermist Janice on Mr. Robot. She currently portrays on one of our favorite shows that I peer pressured you to watch it. I made her watch. I was like, no, wait, you got to watch this. And then she texted me like 30 minutes in and was like, wait, I love it. She plays the 1880s party girl, Mamie Fish, on the HBO hit show The Gilded Age, and an unlicensed nurse and facilities manager, which in Trump's America, that sounds like great healthcare. Miss Dot on the NBC comedy Stumble, whose season finale airs Friday, March 13th. She's also a writer and producer, most recently of the documentary Hank's Saloon. Ashlie Atkinson, the pride of Arkansas, welcome to The Moment Live.
Hi, team. How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited that you're here.
Ashlie, I feel like you are in literally everything. I'm like, oh, there's Ashlie. There's Ashlie. Like some of them in the more obvious, like Mrs. Fish. But sometimes I'll be watching a movie from like 2010. I'm like, that is a working actress, people.
Thank you, Rebecca. I made a real living out of being in 100 things for like 45 seconds. The person serving the eggs to the famous person. Tons of things. And it's really ruined, I think, movies and TV for a lot of my friends because they'll get really into it. And then, bam, there I am, just ruining.
Ruining. Not for me.
Not for me either.
Not for me. We're going to talk about being a working actress in a minute.
Yes.
But first,
there's so much happening, y'all. Here's what's on the agenda today. Is the war in Iran over? Is war ever over? It's ramping up. It depends on who you ask. It depends on when you ask Trump. Then Timothée Chalamet, which, by the way, I looked it up. He doesn't mind if you say Timothy. I Googled it before I did this.
Okay.
Declares opera and ballet are dying. We talk about his Oscar race for Best Actor and what it's like to be a working actor with a working actor. Then, oh my goodness, we're so excited for this one. We have on Dr. Chris Jones, who's running for Congress in Arkansas, and we're going to talk to him about the so-called Save America Act and also just like what we don't know. Ashlie and Chris are going to tell us what we don't know about Arkansas.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot we don't know, and there's a lot I'd like to know.
I know. I'm such a liberal coastal elite. I feel like with the South, I always hear about the South right around elections and then never again throughout the year. You know what I mean? Like we all jump in and we're like, oh, save us, Georgia. And then we're like, okay, bye.
Yeah. So anyway, we've got a couple of experts on. In the meantime, let's talk about Iran. What's going on?
Let's talk about Iran. We're going to war. We're not going to war. The war is over. The war is just beginning. We don't really know, but I want to do a little bit of recap of what we missed over the weekend. So over the weekend, Donald Trump told CBS, I think the war is very complete, pretty much. If you look, Iran has nothing left in a military sense. But then just hours later, speaking to Republicans Florida, he struck a totally different tone. And he said, the U.S. has won in many ways, but not enough. We will not relent until the enemy is totally and decisively defeated. We don't know exactly what that means. Meanwhile, the conflict or war, I guess, I don't know. What's the difference between war and a conflict? I'm going to call it a conflict. Effectively halted traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, which is where a fifth of the world's oil goes through. So the market has been fluctuating, which we know is really what Trump likes to watch. Trump also told CBS he's thinking about taking the strait over. We don't know what that means. We don't know what's going to happen. The visuals coming out of Iran are horrific. Meanwhile, Iran has elevated the son of the Ayatollah Khomeini, Mojtaba Khomeini, to be the supreme leader. We don't know exactly what that means. All of this feels like we don't know exactly what that means. But this is what you pointed out to me. Caroline Leavitt went on Fox News to talk about a potential draft. So I want to play that clip, and then I want us to chew on everything. Fiona, do we have that clip?
Out there are worried that we're going to have a draft, that they're going to see their sons get in and daughters get involved in this. What do you want to say about the president's plans for troops on the ground? As we know, it's been largely an air campaign up until now.
It has been, and it will continue to be. And President Trump wisely does not remove options off of the table. I know a lot of politicians like to do that quickly, but the president, as commander-in-chief, wants to continue to assess the success of this military operation. It's not part of the current plan right now, but the president, again, wisely keeps his options on the table. But as commander-in-chief, there's no greater priority or responsibility to this president than, of course, protecting the American people and protecting our troops.
Nothing like a draft to endear you to the American people,
Yeah,
right?
the American people historically love the draft.
Oh man, he is so. I would say he's off script, but there is no script.
100%.
Except the one she's reading from.
Yes.
And the language, assess the success of this campaign, is really says everything about sort of the double speak in this administration. The idea that, of course, it will be assessed as a success.
It doesn't matter what happens, it will be a success. Yeah.
Right. It's like the Charlie Sheen always winning school of public administration, you know. Yes. I thought it was really interesting. I saw something on both CNN and CBS today about sleepers, of the concerns about sleeper cells being in the United States, which whether that's true or not, and gosh, it's hard to make sure anything is true coming out.
Yeah, I know
out of the news these days. But what it definitely is going to do is create stigma around Iranian Americans and Iranians living in America.
100%.
Thankfully, we've got this 23-year-old model UN Secretary General kid on it. I don't know if you guys know about the
Wait, no. Tell me.
You gotta tell me.
I thought you were going to reference my favorite, which is remember the like orange level threat assessment from 2003? Like they would get on the television and be like, today's terror assessment is a level green. You should be
Nothing
fine.
scares me more than a kid that did Model UN.
Yeah.
Well, right? They're diabolical. I say as a former head of Model UN at my school. So his name is Thomas Fugit.
Okay.
And he is a 23-year-old college grad with no security experience.
Oh, no.
Leading the terror prevention team and the anti-terrorism team. CP3, Center for Prevention Programs and Partnerships. It combats terrorism, school shootings. I want to show you.
Great.
This
Good.
is
Okay.
picture from his LinkedIn.
Oh my God.
No.
Wow.
Oh.
Whoa.
Do you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Big Balls from Doge.
Oh, yeah. Remember Big Balls?
Remember Big Balls? They really do like to hire these types. Like,
Yes,
it's
Balls
a type.
100%.
Yeah, it's giving Big Balls.
I don't know. That guy's not as hot as some of Trump's other types. Like Trump usually likes like a hotter dude.
Yeah, he does like a hot dude.
He likes a hot dude.
Yeah, like Pete Hegseth, who, by the way, I thought this was really interesting. Pete Hegseth is out there being like, yeah, maybe the United States really did accidentally kill a bunch of schoolgirls in a bombing. And Trump is like, I don't know. We don't know. You know, like they're right. Like, we don't know.
It's unbelievable. And it's like, well, if you don't know, then who the F does?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he's like,
crowdsource that information. Like,
yep.
Well, I was also thinking that it's kind of interesting that, they say we're going to replace the regime and then they replace it with the supreme leader's son. And so I was listening to like how the Iranian people feel about that. And basically, from what I understand, a lot of people feel like this particular supreme leader that we had that was in there before was just so incredibly cruel and more cruel than like absolutely necessary. So basically anything is better. But to me, it's sort of like if we took Trump out and then they were like, guess who's coming in? JD. Jr. No, Don
Oh.
Jr.
Oh yeah, it's more Don Jr.
It's
Yeah,
more
that's
Don
true.
Jr.
It's Don Jr.
And so, but I understand. It made me understand more why for the Iranian people this would be like, well, anything is better than what we have,
Right.
And so, but I to that point though, going back to the draft for a minute. I did want to point out, like, there's this old narrative around the draft, and I was reading a little bit about how World War I kind of ended the Gilded Age, and World War I is a time where selective service is a huge thing, right? So anyway, why is it only that they think mothers care about the draft?
Interesting, right? Well, it's the whole language around women are only we only count as mothers, sisters, and daughters, right? Like,
Yes.
narratives around essays and rape are all about, like, what if it was your daughter?
Yeah.
Or I have sisters. I would never do that.
Yeah. What if she was a perfectly autonomous human being, right? Like, only
Insane.
mothers.
Insane.
But to be honest, like, if the draft goes, it is going to be the only way that I'm like, well, thankfully trans people aren't involved.
True.
You know what I mean? I like the elimination of service for out trans people, and like at least they maybe won't get drafted.
Yeah.
One silver lining in this whole story.
Okay, so like to your point, I think that Trump is just doing a Venezuela. I think he saw Venezuela and he was like, hey, that kind of worked out. We did a strike. We put in Delcy Rodriguez and like nobody seems to be saying anything about it. And so I think like part of his push, like I don't think he wants draft. I don't think he wants boots on the ground. I think he got out over his skis. I think that he like struck Iran and then was like, oh, what are we going to do? Like, I don't think he wants to be there. And I think that's part of what this push and pull is he likes a strike because he figured out like, ooh, it turns out I'm commander of the United States Army. Like, love that for me. I like, this is what they erect statues of, but I think he's going to try and get it. Like, I would be surprised if there really was a draft at the end of the day.
Oh, there's not going to be a draft. This is just something that they're talking about. Although I'm going to say something nice about Caroline.
Ooh,
that's the best I've seen Caroline look in ages.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking that too. And I think it's because she's dissolved some filler.
Oh, it happens.
Oh, maybe so.
I think she saw and she's like, let me pull back.
I know. She was wearing like a Spanx top. Like she had on like a green blazer and then it was just like a Spanx like camisole, which I do appreciate. But you know, I don't know. I think one of the things, I was listening to this great podcast yesterday with Christopher Lydon on Open Source. People are like, oh, do you listen to Call Her Daddy? I'm like, no, I listen to an 80-year-old political commentator.
From
like
Boston.
like this tiny small podcast that they once emailed me. And they were like, why do you listen? And I was like, why are you asking me? No, but they were talking about the fact that like we cannot underestimate the fact that like even if you love Trump, even if you're he loves attention, he loves pomp and circumstance. And so it's like we cannot underestimate that. And that is part of what we're seeing right now. And so we just have to kind of know that, you know, he gets bored with it and he puts down the toy when it's no longer giving him what he wants. And so we have to kind of think like, I think Cuba is
for sure
the next place. I saw a free Cuba hat yesterday on TV.
I know.
So I don't know. I mean, there is something else though we got to talk about. Somebody else is getting a little high on their own supply.
Circumstance,
and that is my boy Timothée Chalamet, who has declared.
So hard. Well done, Meredith.
I mean, they have like a similar personality. You know, like there is a certain narcissistic strain that
they're both New Yorkers.
They're both New Yorkers. Yeah. Hey.
He's declared opera and ballet dead from a interview. Also, too, can I just say I'm so fucking sick of like the actors on actors when they're both fucking dumbasses. Like this fireside chat looks sponsored by Nissan, first of all. And so I'm going to show you Matthew McConaughey interviewing Timothée Chalamet. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this clip.
Admire people, and I've done it myself, to go on a talk show and go, hey, we got to keep movie theaters alive. You know, we got to keep this genre alive. And I don't want to be working in ballet or opera or, you know, things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore. All respect to the ballet and opera people out there. I just lost 14 cents in viewership.
Ashlie.
Okay, first of all,
First of all,
It's like, put the coin in me, here I go. First of all, I wanted to say that Matthew McConaughey is not a dum-dum. I did his film with him last year. He's a very smart man. He's a lovely man. I'm pretty disappointed that he didn't push back on this, but I also think this format is sort of the most innocuous version of this thing. Nobody's trying to do a gotcha. There's no hard-hitting sort of journalism happening and actors on actors that I know of. But a lot of, first of all, I think Chalamet's about to find out exactly how many people care about ballet and opera.
oh yeah,
And there's been this really sort of disturbing trend where people, celebrities and influencers seem to think that top-down culture is how art happens.
Yep.
And this sort of prescriptive art and culture situation, when actually all of the sort of meaningful art and culture forms of at least the 20th century were bottom up.
yes,
100%.
I'm talking about things like punk rock, and the idea, by the way, that a dollar sign can be assigned to how valuable a piece of art is.
Yes, that.
Completely erroneous and pretty disappointing, even on how many people see it. There's a that they used to say about the Velvet Underground, which was that not a lot of people saw the Velvet Underground when they were out.
I listen to Sunday Morning all the time.
But that every person who saw a Velvet Underground gig went and started a band.
Oh, interesting.
And I also want to highlight that what he's also sort of what's catching strays in this moment is that a playwright named Jonathan Tolan's talked to me about this years ago, and I think about it all the time, that ballet and opera were receiving a lot of attention and a lot of money and excitement in the 70s and 80s. And what happened is the AIDS crisis.
Oh, interesting.
And what happened,
Reagan.
the vibrant community around ballet and opera, because those were the people that were out and about, and those were the people that were celebrating life. Those are the people that were inordinately affected and killed and decimated.
Right. Yeah. Right. An entire generation.
And they have been fighting that ever since. And the ignorance around a statement saying that opera and ballet is dead is just like a super tone deaf pass for me.
It's such a so I was saying before the show, I like when Timothée first came on the scene and it was like, I'm in pursuit of greatness. I was not anti-Timothée. I was sort of like, I get it. Like you love your craft. You want to be the best. We were just saying before this, like you guys on the Gilded Age are like actors on actors being
in a good way,
in like a craftsmanship way. Like I'm not anti in pursuit of greatness. And then I saw this clip and I was like, you're not in pursuit of greatness. You're in pursuit of fame. Like it doesn't, like somebody who believes in their craft and the arts, which by the way, like ballet, opera, acting, like they're all derivatives of the same skill set, I think.
Can I just say, you cannot tell me that this isn't a little influenced by the PR machine that he is now in with the Kardashian family, because the next thing he says is, I just lost 14 cents in viewership. I don't think that 10 years ago he would have even thought that way. He wouldn't have known to think that way.
Yeah.
And now he knows I can kind of say anything I want. I mean, I said this on social media. Everyone got mad at me. I'm like, people died at Astro World, and the Kardashians made everyone forget about it. So if you're in the Kardashian PR machine, you think you can throw opera under the bus, you think you can throw ballet under the bus, and the only place that your brain goes isn't to the arts or, how you could have hurt someone who you probably worked with, by the way, but instead like, oh, I just lost money.
Right. And I agree. I thought that he was a young man who took his craft and art seriously. And it's just a really disappointing turnout. And I think that's a great point, that he is now part of a greater PR machine that is maybe, I don't know, sort of assessing value by dollar signs, not by impact.
He grew up in Mitchellama housing, which you're in New York, Ashlie. You know, that's public housing for working artists. He grew up, he went to public high school at LaGuardia Arts. Like, I have friends who went to LaGuardia Arts. It was for the people. Like, part of why I respected him is like he came from like the working arts. Before we go, predictions, does it hurt his Oscar run? Do you think that the powers that be say like nobody wants to see this win?
I think that after there's been a lot of bad press around the Safdies in general, in particular Josh Safdie, the director of Marty Supreme. And I think that they were sort of hoping that Chalamet would be able to rise above that fray. I have friends that worked on that film and are very proud of that film. And I it's a shame that I think he may have torpedoed his chances here. Also, like, Michael B. Jordan is just inevitable. Like, I kind of think he was the front runner anyway.
I agree.
So yeah, I don't. The shot is looking longer and longer, but you know, people have short memories. So I guess we'll see.
Short memories. You know who does take his craft pretty seriously? Our next guest.
Good transition.
We have with us today Dr. Chris Jones. Chris Jones is a father, he's a husband, he's an entrepreneur, and he's running for Congress in Arkansas's 2nd District. We're so excited to have him here today. He's a pal of Ashley's too. So,
good morning.
What's up? How's it go? That was a great transition, by the way. Yeah.
Impressive, right?
Yeah, impressive. Ashlie, I love you.
I love you, Chris. It's so good to see you. How's your family? We'll catch up.
They are amazing.
His girls are incredible.
They are.
You know, he's a girl dad.
Yeah.
Get them to run. They're the next generation. We
they
gotta
are.
get them to run.
And my wife is way more phenomenal and impressive than I am.
Also a doctor, I hear.
Like a real doctor, the one you call when you need help.
Yeah.
I push papers. She saves lives.
Unlike RFK Jr.
We'll have to have her on. Well, we are really excited that you're here today because I think there's so much that we don't know about Arkansas that we are really eager to know. But one of the things that we first wanted to talk to you about is the newly dubbed Save America Act, which seems to be really top of mind for Trump this week. So over the weekend, he Truth Socialed about it. And I think we have a photo. Okay, here we go. And he said he wouldn't sign any other legislation until the SAVE Act is passed. So obviously, you're running for Congress this upcoming midterm election. Do you worry about how the SAVE Act being passed could affect voter turnout for you in Arkansas?
100%. And look, I will add, though, it's not a bad thing that he wouldn't sign any more legislation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If we had known that a long time ago. But the SAVE Act, it does 3 things. You know, one, it makes you prove that you're a citizen as opposed to attesting to it. Number 2, it makes you you have to have ID when you show up to vote. A lot of places do that now. But the bigger thing is it then shares your data with the federal government. That is the thing that is deeply concerning given this federal government.
Right.
But at the end of the day, he's seeing losses across the board. And he knows he's going to get slaughtered in November if he doesn't do something to change what's happening and what's coming.
Yeah, I thought it was so interesting that he changed it to the Save America Act. It was the Save Act, and then he was like, suddenly it's about, you know, trans mutilation, and also, you know, like it's suddenly about, you know, like the optics of it are about, you know, his version of saving America. Sorry, go ahead. You were going to say.
No, I was saying he had to do that in part because he needs to keep his team riled up.
Yes.
Like, and so any red meat he can throw at them. And really, he's a master magician. Yeah. So it's a wave the hand over here. So you forget unemployment's going down. You forget Epstein files. You forget all of the bad stuff that's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, can I ask a question about the SAVE Act?
Yeah.
The part that I'm sort of confused about is that much was made of your name not matching your name on your identification. If you have identification, but it does not match your birth certificate, the name on your birth certificate, which is sort of like the gotcha for trans folks that they're trying to pull. But it feels like his base is going to be more affected by that because there are more women taking their husbands' last names.
Interesting.
And is it, I mean, maybe it's just that women's adjacency to Trump does not protect them, as we see all the time with white women who are adjacent to white supremacy structures. But is it just that he's willing to throw away all these like wife votes in order to
wife votes? We should. That's good, but TM wife votes. Yeah.
Interesting.
have merch that just says wife votes.
I want a shirt that says wife votes. That's good.
Great.
Love it.
But
I think you're right.
Like,
yeah, he's willing to throw away anything. He's flailing, right? And at the end of the day, he's flailing because one, he's not living up to his own promises. No wars, fix the economy on day one. He's not living up to his own promises. And number two, he's caught in a corner. He's a wounded animal, and he'll do whatever he can just to survive. Meanwhile, people, white women, white men, poor folks in rural areas, poor folks in urban areas are just struggling. And they're finally saying, you know what? This is not it.
Well, let me ask you this then. Folks are struggling, right? One of the things from the big, beautiful...
I'm struggling.
Yeah, I'm struggling. And I will tell you, I'm feeling the impacts of the big, beautiful bill. And I know that I hold a lot of privilege, but I am noticing my premiums have gone up for health insurance, which they've gone up for private insurance. My electricity bill has gone up. So I'm struggling. So for folks in Arkansas, when you go around, you're talking with potential constituents, how do they feel when they hear about things like this conflict/war in Iran? What is their feeling on that as we continue to hurt here back at home?
Yeah, it boils their blood big time. And I'll tell you, so my district is in central Arkansas. So it includes Little Rock for sure and the surrounding areas. We have a military base in our district. My wife is a combat veteran. She served in Afghanistan, so I know it personally as well. But there are a lot of military families who are saying, look, we signed up to serve America. We signed up to protect America. We did not sign up to go into some random war that doesn't benefit us. And especially when we're number one in food insecurity in Arkansas.
Yeah.
We're bottom of the barrel in education. Our healthcare premiums have gone, like you said, gone up, and 1 in 3 farmers are at risk of going bankrupt. And they're asking, well, why are we sending hundreds of millions and billions of dollars overseas to destroy another area when we have work to do here at home?
Yeah.
I hear it all across the district.
Do you think that they believe that, folks who might be further right or folks who might be, undecided or independents, do you think they believe this idea that there is this imminent threat of nuclear war from Iran that we need to be protected from?
I think some of them do, right? What I have to give credit to the media machine that has been created, because it has convinced so many people of something that is absolutely not true. Like, and somebody who thinks that they can say whatever they want to about ballet and opera and then get away with it. Like, come on, like, dude, no, you're wrong. So the same similar thing has happened here, where you get an influx of a certain media impression. Democrats are bad. They eat babies. They, worship Baal, all that stuff. And over time, you start to believe that, and then you start to act on that. So they've been super effective. And now it becomes really challenging to say, well, wait a minute. If I believe that this guy's doing me wrong and I'm hurt, now you just fundamentally, like, my whole concept of life and who I am, my identity has just been broken, which is also why I think Democrats fail. Because Democrats are constantly in their face saying, you're wrong, this doesn't make sense, as opposed to embracing them where they are. And by the way, we don't spend enough time with our own folks either, I should say. We don't spend enough time in our own communities saying that we care about you. But we then try to force them to change their ideology, as opposed to saying the ship is sinking, y'all. I don't care what your ideology is. We got to save the ship.
I'm wondering, this is a broader question about Arkansas. We were talking about it, and Bill Clinton, governor of Arkansas from Little Rock, Arkansas voted for him. Arkansas also voted for Jimmy Carter. But
Yeah.
once, sorry. Yeah, everybody voted for Jimmy Carter once.
Yeah.
But actually, I think Jimmy Carter was a great president.
I think Jimmy Carter was a great president too. But it's
right?
Yeah.
I
Too
feel
pure
like
for this earth.
Yeah, too pure.
Yeah.
He was
He was a nuclear engineer and he was a minister. Like that.
There you go. What's up?
On brand. Okay, there we go. Well, my question to you is like in my sort of like 2026 brain, I think of Arkansas as like reliably a red MAGA state.
Yeah.
What don't I understand about local politics that make it both of these things? And like, could it swing again? Could it change again?
It 100% can change. I think that's a great point, and it's the impression that people have of Arkansas. Keep in mind, though, just 15 years ago, the entire federal delegation to Arkansas was Democratic. It flipped after Obama, and we can read into that what we want, right? But particularly in this district, it is structurally Republican, but behaviorally persuadable.
Okay.
Right? So Republicans structurally have an advantage over Democrats. But you can look at this last primary, just last week, turnout was high, much higher than expected.
Huh.
Yeah. I consolidated the Democratic base and got 94% of the Democratic base and got almost right.
Right?
Got almost as many votes. So I basically matched French Hill, the incumbent, in terms of votes.
Oh, wow.
That doesn't happen. He got 47,000. I got 46,000. So it made it's persuadable. Now, and I think in large part because the largest voting bloc in Arkansas are non-voters.
Can you talk more about that? Okay, that's really interesting. We say this on this show all the time. It's not that the country's, there is a split between Democrats and Republicans, but I also think the biggest split is like people who just don't participate.
Yeah, they sit out. They sit out because they feel like nothing will change.
Yep.
They sit out because it's confusing.
Mm-hmm.
It is confusing. I have 5 degrees and I still can't figure it out.
We say this all the time on the show. Sometimes I think things are confusing when in fact they're just stupid. Like I'll spend a lot of time, like something will happen. And like the way that my brain works is I'm like, I have to get to the bottom of this. How does Congress work? How does this work? And I'll spend all of this time trying to figure out what is happening. And then I'll get to the bottom of it and be like, oh no, this was actually really dumb. There wasn't an explanation. There wasn't something I didn't understand.
And we get a lot of that. And then I'll say there are also barriers. There are real legitimate barriers to people voting. So when you combine all of that, and we're a poor state overall, now you have a situation where people just decide to stay home. But when you show up in community and when you engage folks and when you bring them into the process and make them a part of it, they feel like they own it and they believe that change can happen. And I know Ashley's seen it.
Ashley.
I have seen it. And I think part of it is sort of what you're talking about, Dr. Jones, is people, it's confusing and it's exhausting as well.
Yes, it's exhausting.
Trying to make a living. It's exhausting, especially because there's this relentless algorithming. I don't think that's a word of our politics, right? So if we're getting parallel lines based on party and based on what you're being fed through social media, even through traditional media formats at this point.
Yep.
And so if you're hearing a certain narrative and then finding out that something conflicts with that narrative, it's too exhausting to reconcile.
Right.
Instead, you just stay home. But I also want to flag that a lot of this is post-Obama, but there was really something that started at least in the 80s during the Reagan time, which was the focus on the family sort of
Jim Dobson. Yep.
Exactly. Jim Dobson. And this idea of like twinning certain values with the Republican Party, which are anti-choice, fiscally conservative, reducing safety nets, and eliminating community. That plus gerrymandering has been sort of decimating our state since the 80s.
Yeah. And if I could just add on to that to bring us to now, because I think you're right, it's been decimated. And Ashley, you and I are same generation, like we're Gen X. Right. So we felt it. I heard it. But here's the thing that I want people to understand. with the right resources, with investment, it can change.
Yes.
It can completely change. And it doesn't, in Arkansas, the beauty is it doesn't take a lot of investment. And we are already seeing it happen. When we remind people that incumbents like French Hill voted to cut Medicaid, voted to send us to war, voted to supporting the SAVE Act, all of that, voted to increase bank fees. Folks are like, wait a minute, that's not helpful to me.
Right.
So when we have the resources to remind folks, and that's what I would tell your national audience, and the reason it's important, folks to fly over Arkansas, and Ashlie knows this, they forget about Arkansas,
Sure.
But understand, the control of the House is razor thin.
Right.
If we can add a seat to the table, that helps us get control to get the things that we want and to stop the things that we don't want. Yeah. That's why this seat is both winnable and important to the nation.
Absolutely. And I want to piggyback on that not only is adding one seat important, the state has like the largest city in Arkansas has 250,000 people in it.
Right.
So you don't have to change 1 million hearts and minds in order to do this.
Right.
Change some neighborhoods.
That's it.
And
That's it.
If you can get to the hearts and minds of some neighborhoods,
any change,
you can get it going.
Amen.
Let me ask you this,
Dr.
Jones. You have something in well, come on. You earned that PhD. But I'm from right outside of Boston. I grew up in Medford.
I know Medford.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Rebecca, lived in Boston for a long time. She lived in JP.
Yep.
You spent many years there. You did a lot of education there. You worked as a Boston public school teacher.
Sure did. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
So let me ask you this. And I don't mean to say this in a way because I love Arkansas. Go Razorbacks.
And she's a newly.
Anytime you preface it with.
I know.
Excuse me, not a newly. I have been a Razorbacks. Here's the thing. I'm an underdog girl.
Yeah, she is an underdog girl.
So that is why I'm a Razorbacks fan.
Gotcha,
so watch 2018, I got into them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So here, they don't really win, although they're getting better. But anyway.
And I hear their gymnastics team is
it's killer.
That actually is more exciting for me.
Ashlie just taught me that this morning.
But
gymnastics is very exciting in Arkansas.
You didn't have to go back to Arkansas, and I don't mean that as an insult, but you have degrees on degrees, and you're incredibly successful, and we're out living in as the coastal elites.
Right.
Why what is it about Arkansas that people don't understand that you wish they did?
Yeah, I'd say 3 things. One, as a minister, I believe that I'm called to those most in need. Right. And when I look at the map of where need is, Arkansas is high on that list. Education, healthcare, you name it. That's number one. Number 2, because I fundamentally believe in the potential of this place. I mean, we birthed Walmart. We birthed Maya Angelou. We birthed Johnny Cash. We birthed Alex Haley and George Haley. The list goes on and on. We birthed Lottie Shackelford. We birthed John Johnson. We birthed so much with just a little bit of support. Arkansans do Bill Clinton. Arkansans do amazing things. And then the third reason is because it's in my blood. My family has been in Arkansas for over 200 years.
Wow.
So if I'm gonna take my my little time away on the East Coast was a long time, but in the grand scheme of my life, life, it's a blip. And I firmly believe my grandfather, he drove a truck, had a 3rd grade education. And he told me 2 things when I would sit in the top of his truck, kind of in the truck bed.
Yeah.
Because he would park it out front. And I would kind of hide in there sometimes. He would always tell me 2 things. He said, 1, big man, that's what he would call me. He said, big man, get an education. Because when you get it in your head, no one can take it out. And that's one of the reasons why I pursued education so vehemently. 3rd grade education told me that. The other thing he said is, do whatever you can, but when you get it, bring it back home. So his call was to say, go out and find fire and do amazing things, but you know what? Come back home and help and serve the people who made you who you are. That's why I'm here.
Damn. Should I move back to Medford? I think those kids could use me.
I know, Boston
No.
school teacher.
Dr. Chris Jones, can you tell folks where they can find you as you carry on in your incredible campaign?
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you, like I said, we need support from everyone, everywhere. We can win this seat in November. The foundation is there. Go to chrisjonesforcongress.com if you want to sign up to volunteer. Of course, sign up to donate, chrisjonesforcongress.com. But you can also follow me on social media at Jones4, F-O-R-A-R, Jones4AR. I respond to DMs. So please.
Yeah, that's how we got him on the line.
Right. So please reach out. Look, this is an exciting journey. These are challenging times. I firmly believe that in the next 3 to 5 years, the decisions we make in the next 3 to 5 years will shape the next 250 years.
Yes.
Whether you're talking about AI or healthcare or whatever, and we need people in place who will make the decisions that lift us all up and not extract so much to uber wealthy in the top. So thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jones.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. We'll have you back. We'd love to have you back. And bring
Please
those.
Do. Appreciate it, Rebecca Meredith. Love you, Ashley.
Love you, Chris.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, he's the best, man.
What a delight.
Oh my God.
He did a thing where he walked through Arkansas and he was just like, I don't know. I don't know you if I haven't walked your path. And so I'm going to walk and you can walk with me and talk to me about whatever you want to talk about. And he walked through like every county in Arkansas.
Senator Chris Murphy does that in Connecticut. I think he does. I'm from New Haven, Connecticut, and my family would walk to the ends of the earth for Senator Chris Murphy. Because, it's like that physical being in the space with the people. It really makes a difference, especially with what he was saying is like people feel so disconnected from the leadership. And like, I think that's part of why conspiracies take hold is it's way easier to look at these people and be like, that's a lizard person than to be like, that's just a human on planet Earth, just like me, doing their best and or doing their absolute worst. I think people forget that. That's just what leadership is.
Right. That's a Hollywood thing too, right? Like I think
totally
people are like, oh, well, Matthew McConaughey probably isn't an alien if my friend Ashley did something with it. You know what I mean? Like
100%. Yes.
And now you're disabusing the notion that Hollywood people are eating babies and taking adrenochrome.
I don't know, Ashley. That's what a baby eater would say.
Right?
I don't know about that. That sounds like something that the Illuminati put in your mouth. Are you a clone? Are you a clone?
It all starts to peel away.
You're like, oh, my ear. Oh,
if
no.
she was, she'd be doing make money right now. Like she'd be on another set because the woman is booked and blessed.
That's
like,
true. That's true. She would not be out here talking about ballet and opera.
Oh my God. I lost my 14 cents.
Honestly, in this economy, I'm like, yeah,
I know, that's true.
Need it.
Honestly, I'll fight you for 14 cents in the economy. Let's
Rebecca,
go.
I'd love to ask you, what's having a moment for you right now?
Okay. What's having a moment for me is catching up on 4 seasons of a show that I didn't watch.
What show's that?
Industry. So on social media, everybody was like, oh my God, the season 4 finale is so crazy. And like 3 years ago, somebody said, you remind me so much of this character on this show. And I was a little bit afraid to watch it because I wasn't sure how this person, I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to watch a character that like on a show about bad people, but she's like, oh, you remind me just of this person. But I was so, like how this happens where you're on social media and everybody is like talking up a show and you're like, I can't not know what social media is talking about. So I've started watching all four seasons of Industry and it is fine. it's fine.
Sometimes all you need is fine.
It's no Gilded Age. I will tell you what, it is no Gilded Age, but the character that she said I remind her of is not, at least up until this point, as egregious as I was worried what she was. So that's that.
Well, you never know. People can flip.
People can flip. I know. I keep on waiting for this character. I think I understand why she thinks I remind. Like now I feel better. It's like it was more worrisome to me going into it. I was like, oh no. But
when you're like, oh, I can see that, right? Like it means that version of yourself is jibing with like the way other people.
Exactly. Yeah, like I watched it and I was kind of like, oh, I get it.
That's
But
like-
I was worried going into it that she was the villain of the show, but she's not the villain.
I
of the
had
show,
a boss who once said to me, she was like, "Do you have HBO?" And I was like, "No." This was like back before everybody
everyone
had
had
HBO.
HBO, yeah.
She goes, "No." I said, "No." And she goes, "Oh, because there's this new show and you remind me so much of this girl that's on it." And I was like, "Oh, cool. What's it called?" She's like, "It's called Girls."
Oh,
No! Wait, which girl was it, Lena?
it doesn't matter, does it? Like, it
I'll
doesn't
never
matter which
know.
one it
That's
is. It's
right.
still an insult.
That's so true.
I will never know who it was. But you know what? Now that I'm older and able to, I'm like, I feel like it was Lena Dunham, and I feel like that's okay.
Yeah.
I love that show. I
Me
love those
too.
girls.
Now I know it, and I
I
love
also kind of feel shocked that you weren't in that show. That feels like a show that you were in.
I am very sad that I wasn't in it.
Yeah, you would have been great.
really wanted to be, and I
Okay.
just I auditioned and like could not get there. You
Oh,
know?
well then fuck them.
it. But what's having a moment for you, Ashlie?
Okay, so I am first of all, women's rights and abortion rights are having a mo for me. I am doing a thing at the Public Theater on March 16th, which is a reading of a play called Little Lives by
Okay.
Sharon Wright that is starring these two little known actresses named Susan Sarandon and Cynthia Nixon are starring in this reading.
Okay.
I'm in it as well, and some other fantastic actors are in it. But all the proceeds for tickets are going to the Chicago Abortion Fund, which is a group that is a resource for places like Arkansas, where trigger laws were enacted and now abortion is no longer legal. You call the Chicago Abortion Fund. They will fly you to Chicago. They will figure it out. There was a woman who was her only day off was Christmas Day, and they got her to Chicago on Christmas Day, made sure that she got the care she needed, and got taken back. They will handle childcare for your children while you get the care you need. The Chicago Abortion Fund is amazing. We're looking to make $20,000 for them. You can get tickets at publictheater.org, and that's TER, not TRE, Public Theater, ER.org/Little Lives. That's March 16th.
We are going to plug that like crazy.
I'm also so jealous. I want to go.
I know. Why do we live out here?
I know. All the cool actors are in New York still.
I know.
I know exactly where the Public Theater is. I can like picture it in my brain.
It's so
I'm too
beautiful.
broke to go right now.
I know.
Yeah.
But I
We
also
need
just-
that 14 cents.
Oh yeah, there you go. 14 cents. Also, Chris Jones for Congress. Like
Also-
I just
Yeah. Also a moment. What's having a moment for you, babe?
Speaking of balling on a budget, I'll tell you what's having a moment for me. A little thing called Economy Plus. Yeah, you guys. I was flying back from the East Coast and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to treat myself. And I upgraded to the old Economy Plus. And let me tell you, worth every motherfucking penny.
Okay.
Okay. So I call it the poor man's first class. You got a little extra leg room, little better snacks.
You know what? Those inches matter.
Actually, they do.
They matter.
And so I just want to say, shout out to United Airlines for Economy Plus. It actually, air travel now it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
But like also too, I'm like, the bar is basically like, oh, we didn't have to make an emergency landing.
That's true.
For like, a
Good point.
terror threat. But I spent $100 to upgrade to Economy Plus, and it was worth every damn 14-cent increment.
There you go.
Yeah. So anyway, that was having a moment for me.
Well,
good
I love
hack.
it.
Good hack. Good
Yeah,
hack.
that is a hack. That's a reason to say that, to not say ballet and opera are dead.
Yeah. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out. We'll be back on Friday with another episode in studio again. Want to thank everybody. Thank you, Vienna. Thank you to our amazing executive producer. Thank you to Ashlie for joining us. Dr. Chris Jones.
Ashlie! Oh, this was so cool.
Babies, it's so nice to hang out with you.
Thank
Please
you.
come back again soon.
All right. We'll see you guys on Friday. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.